evening, everyone. So let's just cut to the chase. A few videos ago, I mentioned during a gift exchange, I received this Glitter Girls outfit and something else. This is that something else. Long story short, I ended up with a duplicate of Funko Pop Scar, which I had previously bought a month prior at Jungle for like 14 bucks with tax, when in fact I had requested a limited edition one instead. I was told it's because they quote-unquote didn't have it, when, as you'll see, is literally not true. My conspiracy theory is that person went to one of the 1,000 Funko Pop stores in our local mall, rather than using the specific link I provided, and obviously turned up with nothing, but hey, it's the thought that counts. Good thing too, since the duplicate has a way better print job than the one I bought at Jungle, which won't be featured for the rest of this review. Unfortunately, this did put a wrench in my video schedule, so instead of doing an unscripted filler episode on the Funkos, we got the Glitter Girls outfit one instead. Obviously, I did pick up the Entertainment Earth limited edition glow-in-the-dark Funko Pop Scar later on, read as 4 months later, for $16.43 US, with tax from Evasive Studios. The packaging is nothing too special. The front features several logos at the top surrounded by a patchy red border and white trim. Towards the middle, it cuts away to a plastic window. Below is a white text box that says Scar in black text and vinyl figure in smaller red lettering. There's not really much a difference between these two boxes, save for the half picture render, I can't really tell. On the right side, the limited edition also has two stickers. The left side features the Pop Animation logo at the top, a cutout section for the plastic window, and Scar in black text on the sides. At the bottom, there's the same picture for each figure, but this time only from the eyes up. The back features more or less of the same thing, logos at the top, a half picture of the figure at the side, and more information at the bottom. However, this time we have several different characters from the lineup as well. The right side features a border consisting of that same blotchy red pattern, with a white center panel featuring the Xerxes symbol faintly outlined in gray. Let's start off with Pop Animation Pop Vinyl number 1179 Scar, aka the regular one. He doesn't balance very well, not too shabby of a figure though. He's actually lighter, weight-wise, than I thought, and for some reason kinda cute. When taking him out of the package, it felt like a baby being born, I don't know. There's just something so precious about him in that moment. Doesn't detract from the fact that he can't really stand by himself. I did try using this random plushie stand, but it was also pretty finicky to handle, so that's out of the question. Moving on to the figure itself, they decided to put him in the outfit he wears from episode 15 onward. In my opinion, the yellow one he wore before is much more iconic, but I guess he didn't wear it too long in Brotherhood compared to the 2003 series. I'm quite surprised with how dynamic his pose is. He's crouching with one knee on the ground, jacket dramatically thrown behind him, and an alchemy effect charging up in his right hand. This does seem to be a pretty popular pose to depict him in, much like how many of Roy's figures have him doing the snap thingy. Taking a closer look, the sculpting isn't too shabby either. His face in particular is pretty funny because unlike the standard doughy Funko look, they actually sculpted his cheekbones and flesh eyebrows. The scar on his face is quite faint compared to the box art though. At first I thought the jungle one was extra misprinted, but nope, it seems to be a reoccurring thing. His antennas are a bit messy in terms of how they're stuck on, but the rest of his hair translates into 3D quite nicely. Speaking of sculpting, look at that jacket. The movement of it blowing towards the right is captured in several folds and creases. I can even pick out an individual sleeve. There is, however, a big seam line going through the middle, but hey, once again for the price, not bad. While writing the script, I guess I forgot to mention, his shoes have a glossy finish to them as well. Switching focus to his left hand, the alchemy effect is the only part that makes use of this clear, slightly more flexible, transparent blue plastic. It fragments into lightning bolt-like tendrils through his fingers and coils around his arm. His arm that doesn't have any tattoos. I'm slightly disappointed they weren't included on this variant for some reason. Oh well, at least his arms are pretty juicy, I mean nicely sculpted, yeah. Alright, let's switch to a later part of the day better suited to review this figure. Totally not because I had a doctor's appointment. And here we are. The limited and regular editions are quite similar with only a few key differences. Right off the bat, they fixed the stand issue, now including a clear plastic disc with a peg in the middle that plugs into a hole under Scar's right foot. Unfortunately, they don't sit flushed against each other, but hey, at least he's not falling down at the slightest touch. His pose also differs a bit. Instead of dramatically ripping off a jacket, his right hand is now held out in front balled into a fist. I also want to point out the body sculpt is a bit different as well. I don't know, it seems thinner, not in a cheaper plastic kind of way, but Structurally, he's not as thick. The limited edition's face features red eyes, like in the show, instead of that soulless Funko black. His hair and scar are also a different shade / material, but this is due to functionality rather than cheapening out. I assume that's why the paint job on this one is also quite grainy. My copy seems to have a bit of paint stuck on his flesh eyebrow, which it's kind of my fault, as the other one they let me pick from at Evasive Studios didn't have this defect. I was under the impression it was like dust or something I could easily wipe away. This one did have a cleaner paint job overall though, obviously safe for that spec. Both of his arms now have tattoos, which is interesting that they wanted to go with something from the end of the series. It has been 15 years since Brotherhood first aired, so I guess it's not really that much of a spoiler. They're printed quite nicely for the scale, but as I said, I wish at least the left side was on the regular one. It's pretty important to his character, second to, well, the scar.
Another minute difference is that his shoes are now matte. I guess that's what they call the law of equivalent exchange, huh?
Lastly, while the alchemy effect is still a light blue color, it's more cloudy and less transparent, because as it says in the box, he can glow in the dark. Not well upon initial opening, however, shining a bright light on him really does the trick. In addition to his hair glowing an icy blue, his scar and eyes glow red, the white parts of his tattoo and pant stripe are that typical glow-in-the-dark green, and the alchemy effect glows a very deep blue. Overall, I really like them. Maybe it's because it's Scar and these are like his first few decent figures in forever. Wish it was a Nendoroid. Good smile, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. There are a lot of defects here and there, but they're only really noticeable up close, with the exception being limited edition Scar's eyebrow. Then again, I kind of feel that was partially my fault. My one real complaint though is that the regular edition can't stand up by himself. I ended up using these glue dots to fix that. I'm pretty sure any sort of blue tack would work as well. At least they learned from this by giving the limited edition a stand, even if his foot doesn't sit all the way against it. Other than that, I really do like them. They have a nice feel, surprisingly lighter than I thought, and the sculpting is good enough for the price point. They're kinda cute in a freakishly ugly way. I know, there's this whole thing like, ew, Funko Pop ugly, Nendoroid's so cool. And as a longtime Nendo collector, now that I've handled some Funkos, I don't think they're comparable price and functionality wise. Not saying I want Funko to make like 10 more variations though. I know they can get a little trigger happy with that, but if they must, then I hope this illustration, I hope we get one of his iconic yellow coat. And with that, good night.